my own brother, he bought Bitcoin like when it was a few thousand rupees. And he had a portfolio of like some around 30-40 lakhs. And he's like, it's gonna go up. Today that's all crashed back. I was always the kinds that gaadi nahi to nahi honi chahiye. But then I realized like how financially like just the value involved in it. And the experience is amazing. I genuinely feel like there's nothing better than equity. Nothing better than equity. If you have the time and energy, or you have a portfolio manager doing it, right? Good. I feel like a fintech influencer now.
Welcome to the Inquisitive Investor, a podcast for the investors by the investors, where investors like you come and share their financial background and talk about investments, personal finance, and real world challenges that they face. And today we have our guest Apurv, who has worked at multiple global companies in marketing and tech. Welcome, Apurv. It was a great ride coming down with you here in Delhi. And I think learning about you, I feel more and more relatable to you. You doing engineering in India, then wanting to do MBA, and then getting into MBA, choosing, okay, this brand or that brand, what brand do you want to manage? And today working at a great company, right? Managing marketing over there. How do you feel, about all these transitions?
Yeah, no, thank you for having me here, Ashish. Means a lot. Again, this is something I'm personally passionate about, personal finance, fintech in general. So happy to do this with you today. And like you said, I've learned a lot about you on the car ride here, including how you're interested in basketball as well. So happy to play a game afterwards. But my journey so far has been, I would say, very sort of a zigzag style, where I've always tried to do something I've never been comfortable with. And you'll see how that pans out even in my own personal finance history. I like trying new things. I like experimenting things at work. So I've been an engineer, a coder, a hacker, all the way to a brand storyteller. So I've sold SIM cards running around the streets of the country. So I've been to the depths and the breadths of whatever is possible, and trying to see whatever I can learn and apply that elsewhere.
Can you do a quick round of introduction for yourself?
Yeah, sure. Happy to do that. So I come from a very humble background. My father used to serve in the Indian Armed Forces. He was an Air Force officer. My mother was a teacher, primary school teacher in Kendriya Vidyalaya. So I've come from a very simple life. But I think because of that, I used to move cities every 1.5 years. So when somebody asked me, like you were asking me, where are you from? I never have an answer, because I've lived around the entire country. Even during my job, I've traveled around the world. But yeah, I have a passion for engineering. So I did engineering by education. I spent some time in tech. Then post my master's in marketing, I've been working with brands like Vodafone, Flipkart, Amazon, and currently with a very well-known brand internationally. So yeah, I think just my exposure to different cultures, traveling around, which also lays a foundation to my investment philosophy, is like try something new. Unless you travel, you don't know what's the best food in that city, right? And you might just end up making that your favorite dish ever. So that's the same principle I apply in investing.
So we want to educate our users, how should they think of their better future, or what's the goal of being financial freedom, right? What is your investment goal?
Yeah, so I'll tell you very simply. One is taking the inspiration from my own father, have a very sharp sense of security. I think that's something that I'm very, very clear on, that yes, you can't be playing around with money. You have to make sure that your foundation is set and the basics are done right. But then have a portion of it cut out right for you, where you can play around and grow or create wealth in the long run, right? So like you asked me, how do I think about personal finance and how my journey has been? In the early years, it was a lot more about security, right?
Got it.
And as my income grew, the way I mentally saw it, right? Whenever I changed jobs, or whenever I got a bonus, or whenever I got an extra disposable income in my mind. So if I was getting 10,000 rupees, let's say, and I got a 1,000 rupees extra, for me it's like, Apur, why do you care about this 1,000? You didn't have it until yesterday.
Yeah.
So why don't you go and play around with this? See what's possible. Try it for a couple of months. mentally, then you're stabilized. Okay, now my new salary is 11,000 rupees. Now that's the safe one. Now the next delta I get, I'll play around with that.
So what was that year when you started thinking about equity?
So I rather than year, I'll tell you, it took me about close to 3 to 4 years after I started earning. See, when you start earning as a person for the first time, right, in your life, you obviously, one thing is money is new, you start spending, and then you realize I have to start saving. So you go through that curve cycle when you know that I've played around, but I have to save some, and then I start thinking risk.
Got
right.
it.
I also think a lot of influence comes from peers. It's a funny story. I was in a cubicle that I used to sit with 4 other people, and I was in a job in Bombay. Bombay being Bombay, I think that also played a role. All the 3 others around me, in the just before the market closing hours, they would block their meeting calendar, and all 3 of them would actually trade.
Oh.
So that is the story of how I got exposed to equity. And I used to be the 4th guy sitting in the corner. I'm like, guys, what are you doing? I'm so scared seeing money move around left, right, and center. Like, what's going on? I hadn't seen money move in a day's time, right?
Got it.
So I got exposed to that. And obviously I couldn't do that because I had no idea about day trades. I wasn't part of these WhatsApp groups, networks. So it was the safest bets of equity that I would start with. Like somebody would say, buy Tata, buy Reliance, right? It's the favorite blue chip stocks that everybody buys. And I would spend 2,000 rupees just blocking that. Having that safety thing, still checking the stock price every day in the morning. Yaar, Tata ka gira to nahi, kya hua, things like that, right? And seeing that blue chip sustain over while, building confidence that, okay, this risk category is not that risky. You get what I'm saying?
Got it. So so thanks for sharing that journey. Okay. What has been your best investment till date?
I honestly haven't analyzed, but I don't know if I have an answer to that, but I think, so I think maybe the answer to this might vary. It could be the best and the worst. It could be literally this one stock my friend recommended. Actually, no, one IPO my friend was pushing me to go after.
Okay.
And I remember I was sitting in office and I would never put big money, right? But he said, no, go after this IPO. So he made me put money into the DMart IPO,
Okay.
which I think in terms of just returns has, even if I look at my portfolio, the return on that is crazy compared to anybody.
So what do you think has been the biggest investment mistake in your life so far?
I would say learning from the example I gave you earlier is investing in a space which you don't understand. Very, 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 very important, and the single biggest lesson I tell everybody around me, especially the younger folks, who I've worked with. A lot of them get influenced by somebody big, YouTube being a culprit, or even colleagues. For me, the mistakes was listening to people around me just by advice, without understanding the stock, right? That same mistake people play around listening to people don't even know, but they think others are following, they might be right. Or areas like crypto and things like that, right? I'm not saying it's bad, but if you don't understand, you don't get into it. That's my single.
Have you ever gotten into some investment that you didn't understand and you regretted?
No.
So
No.
even you mentioned, for example, crypto. Did you invest in crypto?
Zero.
So
I really, really, really tried hard. I have to be honest.
You tried to understand it.
Understand it. I did not get it, and I didn't do it.
How do you feel about it now? In hindsight, you have seen at least.
See, I'll tell you, it depends on your investment strategy. My own brother, he didn't understand. So there are 2 types of people, right? People who play the hedge game, they really go after the risk, right? My own brother, he bought Bitcoin when it was a few thousand rupees, and he had a portfolio of
few thousand rupees.
Yeah. He had a early days, because he was मेरे friends बोले let's try it out, right?
Yeah.
And he had a portfolio of some around 30-40 lakhs. Honestly, by the time when he just put a little bit money, and he's like, it's gonna go up. Today that's all crashed back, right? That's one type of people. For me, I genuinely did not want to invest in an area where I didn't understand.
You have been an engineer. You have learned about technologies in the early days. Then you did MBA. In all these aspects of life, when do you find time to invest, or when do you find time to think about these things?
That's a very good point you called out. So that is a challenge. I would say, remember I told you how I was phasing my life. the phase of my life when I didn't have kids, or when my kids were very small, I was able to take out time on the weekends. That was when I was educating myself. My phase of life has changed now. So, which is why now, in a way, security is making a comeback, right, than it was earlier. I'm still like figuring out things, trying alternative, but I should say my life is positioned in a way when I want security in an alternative. That's the theme that I'm going with right now. I want to try new things, but there is still some level of security, some level of salience and understanding there, rather than just complete risk. So that's how I would think about going forward.
How do you define alternative investments? You just talked about finding security.
Any when I say alternative, something which is not commonly has been used or available in the past, like for example, stocks, FDs. These are very, very common, right? And yes, everybody does this, and you should, but there are new ways in which you can make money. I think which is where I love Grip, and what it offers is really opening up a new corridor of investing, which isn't very accessible so far.
So, but we talked about a framework, how you entered into equity. If
Right.
you had to guide someone, okay, if you are entering into alternatives,
Yeah.
we already do a lot of disclaimers, okay, you should
Correct.
not start if you don't have a portfolio, and just start with alternatives to diversify.
Yeah.
But what was that journey for you like? What was that excited you?
Yeah.
And how did you try? What was your process like?
Yeah, I think, see, it's about categorizing your risk, your portfolio health, very, very simply put, right? I mean, I would literally put it on paper, on an Excel sheet, like what my investment strategy is. And forget portfolio, what is my investment strategy right now? If I'm putting 1,000 rupees in different buckets, and it could be as simple as rate of return versus risk involved. Just 2 rows. And let's say X channel is giving you this percent of rate of return, but investment risk is high, moderate, low. Categorize that, put it on a chart, and then you decide where you feel comfortable, right?
Got it.
There are lots of investment principles about 70-30 or percentage, or depending on what your age minus 100 and
Right,
things like
right.
that, right? Those work, but I mean, those worked for me like 5 years back. It also depends on your income levels. Very, very important for somebody to also understand how much risk can they take, what is their family background situation, things like that. And I think for me, that simple 2 rows will help me understand that, okay, if I'm getting a 10, 15, 20% return, but it's a very, very high risk, how much do I want to put there? Versus I want a high rate of return, but maybe not as much risk. So that's where I think Grip plays a very balanced approach in terms of the portfolio.
Got it. Interesting that you think so much about investments in your regular life. Do you want to give some framework
Sure.
to people so that they can also start doing it? And do you also see that it has given you better results than your peers if you have some benchmarks?
Yeah, I don't know about better results. I'm sure like people who have time and are heavily into stocks would probably make more. Like I genuinely feel like there's nothing better than equity. Nothing better than equity. If you have the time and energy,
Got it.
or you have a portfolio manager doing it, right? For my peers, a lot of them, what they do is the most common thing I've seen, at least in my peers, is mutual funds.
Got it.
And they typically have portfolio managers who will do mutual funds for them. I wouldn't be surprised if they've actually got returns as par or even better than I do. In fact, like with some people I discuss returns, and some of them actually get better returns than I have. But I keep coming back to that sheet I told you, right? Like how much you want to try out new things, how much risk you want to take. Because tomorrow, let's say for example, the market crashes, completely, right? Today, maybe 70% of my profile is portfolio is in the market, right? It will crash.
Yeah.
But because I have tried alternative, and I have even like a 5 or a 10%, I will still have some respite from that crash. So I don't want to be overly dependent on one category. Now, because of equity as a nature, there's a lot of products that have emerged from equity. But the base foundation is for everything is that stock market, right?
Got it. Yeah.
For me, that's not what I want to depend upon.
We had also thought of a very, very engaging round, rapid fire round. I have set
Sure.
of questions. I'll
Sure.
bring them up. Okay. So you need not think. You just answer whatever
I have not
comes to your
prepared for
mind.
this.
Yeah. So best stock trading app.
I think Zerodha. I mean, that's the one that I use the most.
Financial advisor versus doing it yourself.
Doing it myself, absolutely.
Short-term investments versus long-term investments.
Long term.
High risk, high return, or low risk, low return.
it'll be countering my previous answer, but high risk, high return is what I would love to play around with.
Favorite finance influencer?
None. I don't do any. Zero. I don't listen to any influencers.
Got it. Stocks or derivatives?
Stocks. I don't understand derivatives.
Active investing or passive investing?
Active.
Buying a house or renting a house?
That's the debate of my house right now. But I think renting a house in the scenario, especially considering the most of our listeners would the cities they are in right now, renting is much better. But eventually, I would recommend people to buy a house at the right time. But yeah.
Got it. Indian stocks or US stocks? Asking because there are now opportunities available to invest.
I think both. You should have both. I have also made investments via alternative routes in both. So you have to do both.
New car or used car?
Used car. I recently got a used car. I had my own car and then I recently got a used car through one of these startup platforms. And I swear by the process. You know, I was always the kinds that gaadi nahi to nahi honi chahiye. But then I realized like how financially value, like just the value involved in it. And the experience is amazing.
Cool. So how was your experience here, Apurv?
Good. I feel like a fintech influencer now.
Would you follow yourself if you were an influencer?
So yeah, I mean, you guys can subscribe to this channel. I'll link one more link to my own channel. but yeah, absolutely. This has been good. And I think you guys are doing a fabulous job where building a balance of everything like I just spoke about. So I mean, I'm really eager to see what you guys bring up next.
Cool, and it was a great experience for me as well, and I learned a lot about investment and personal finance. I hope my portfolio turns better. Yeah, if you do not understand anything, do not invest in that. That's my key takeaway from this episode today. Happy investing to you, and hit that like button, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel. So until next time, this is me, Ashish. Stay curious and keep investing.